Fox 45's threat of a lawsuit against the Maryland judiciary appears to have yielded some results. We now have an answer from the state about why it has not released public records that Project Baltimore asked for in January. We were told by the judiciary the records would be produced, but as Project Baltimore's Chris Papps reports, that never happened.
Should it be this way?
It absolutely should not.
Project Baltimore, 2 weeks ago, first spoke with Jeremy Portnoy, a journalist with OpenTheBooks.com, a nonprofit organization devoted to government transparency.
The government is there to serve us, not the other way around.
At the time, Portnoy told Fox 45 News, when it comes to public records requests, Maryland is one of the hardest states to get information.
We're funding the government with our tax dollars. It's supposed to act in our interests.
But Portnoy says that does not appear to be happening when it comes to this public records request filed by Project Baltimore with the Maryland judiciary. For months, the state was telling Fox 45 the records we requested were being produced and would be released. But we have now learned that was not true.
Any attempt to cover up something the government doesn't want us to know goes completely against the purpose of government existing in the first place.
Project Baltimore, on January 9th, 2025, filed this public records request with the Maryland judiciary, seeking to obtain the rulings issued by all juvenile court judges in Baltimore City going back to 2018. The request was later expanded to include all 24 jurisdictions in Maryland. We want to know how certain judges rule in juvenile cases, especially involving sex offenders. According to the Maryland judiciary's rules, it has 75 days to fulfill a records request. So in March, we began asking about the status of our request. At first, we were told the judiciary is still processing your request and needs more time. In April, we asked again with a similar response. Your request is still being processed and the judiciary needs more time. In June, the judiciary explained it was developing an appropriate format to produce the requested information, and we received an estimated date of delivery of July 4th. But when that day came, no records were produced. Then, after 183 days of waiting, on July 11th, attorneys for Fox 45 News sent this letter to the Maryland judiciary explaining if the records were not produced by August 7th, we would sue the judiciary. This week, we received this letter explaining the judiciary closed our request because it requires the creation of new judicial records, and the judiciary is not obligated to create and then produce the records you seek.
Think about that. The judiciary led us to believe the information we requested was being gathered. We were told the records were being produced. But then, shortly after, we threatened to file a lawsuit because the state was in violation of its own rules. Suddenly, we are told the records cannot be produced, and our file is closed.
And that's a big problem. That's why we need much stronger Public Information Act laws in Maryland.
The judiciary explained it is currently building a separate data system that will eventually better assist in responding to requests like Fox 45's. But why were we told that the records were being produced when it appears they were not? We believe taxpayers deserve answers. So we requested an interview with the Chief Justice of the Maryland Supreme Court, Matthew Fader, who heads the Maryland judiciary. We have not yet heard back.
Do you think the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court should address this issue?
I would think so, right? The public needs to know that they can trust in their judiciary not to hide information from the public.
Many juvenile court judges in Maryland are elected. But based off the judiciary's response to us, no publicly accessible records exist to see how juvenile court judges rule in juvenile cases. How can voters be expected to vote for judges when no information is available about how those judges rule concerning juveniles? that part of the story in the coming days. I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore. I'm Chris Pabst. Thanks for watching. Here's another story to watch. Also, if you have a story idea, please send us a message.